31-year-old Tik Woon knows how well-trained the local crossbreeds can be. His dog Buster has wowed audiences and won awards at obedience trials organized by the Singapore Kennel Club. Buster's best performances include placing second at the pre-novice level and third at the novice level. Being a local mixed breed, Buster is a rarity in a world of dog competitions dominated by pure-breed dogs.
It is interesting when I bring Buster for competition because he is probably the only mongrel in the competition, and people do look out for him. In fact, he has many supporters. I suppose he's the underdog, so people tend to cheer for him.
Buster was adopted from the local SPCA 5 years ago. At that time, Tik Woon had just returned from an overseas dog training course and wanted a rescued dog to train with.
Okay, in the SPCA, Buster was quite unmanageable because he's very active and he's dominant. He likes to harm people, and when you enter his cage, he'll probably hump you and play bite you. Despite all those things, I still chose him because he's active and very friendly with humans and dogs. Okay, so I see a potential in him to be trained as a good dog.
Buster has one more thing going for him. He is very food motivated, or plain greedy. But this characteristic makes him an easier student to train and makes his training fun too. However, there is one typical mongrel trait to be contended with, a tendency to get distracted and lose interest.
Sit. Sit. Wait. The challenge of training Buster might probably be to keep his attention for as long as possible. He's more easily distracted by the environment because he is more attuned to the environment. This is because he needs to survive in the wild, and that's probably the reason why he is more attuned to the environment. That's why sometimes we have to take special effort to keep him from being distracted and to keep him motivated in doing what we want him to do.
Buster may never stand on the podium as the champion at an obedience trial, but to Tik Woon, the rugged little fella has already beaten the odds to be top dog of the house. And for owner and dog, that is truly as good as winning. Winter looks a picture of bliss as his master fusses over his perfect coat. He is probably savoring every moment, happy for the simple fact that he is alive. For under all that fluff is a tough guy who was on the brink of death not once, but 3 times.
Vita, bring Bobo. Bring Bobo now. Come. Come. Yeah. Yeah.
Winter was rescued from the streets and placed at a local shelter. Mild-mannered and scrawny, he was bullied and struggling to get his share of the food. He caught the eye of Ricky, who was on the lookout for an underdog he could adopt.
When people first saw Winter at the shelter, they all had one comment that, he was very well hung. By that we mean the size of his manhood. So yeah, we sort of noticed it, but didn't pay much attention to it. But then we realized that at one stage he was actually oozing pus and blood. So that was, of course, cause for concern. At that point in time, he was still at the shelter, so we were just sort of monitoring and giving him antibiotics. But when I adopted him back to our home and realized up close that it was actually very serious, so we had him sent to the vet. It was actually a very serious condition. It was actually penile cancer, and it was a huge growth that had already engorged itself, around it already.
To survive the cancer, Winter had to undergo 6 sessions of chemotherapy. He was injected with a human-grade chemotherapy drug that was actually bought from a human hospital.
He suffered the same side effects as any human being undergoing chemotherapy, loss of hair, nausea, vomiting, and all that, you know. But the best part about him, he was just totally cool about it, you know. He's just so hardy, you know. He took it all in his stride, you know. Even when he was vomiting all over the place, he was just so, okay, I'll vomit, and then I'll just go and lie down, that kind of thing. He didn't make any noise, didn't whine, didn't cry or in pain, you know. So he was actually, you know, a really strong dog mentally and physically. You know, we're really, you know, so proud of him that he went through all that.
Winter would go on to live through 2 other very dangerous diseases, tick fever and heartworm. The fact that he is hale and hearty today is nothing short of a miracle.
Of course, people were saying, you know, is it really worth it? You know, don't you think it's more humane to just put the dog down? You know, that's the very convenient tagline that most people do when they come across trouble. But for us, I think, no, that's not the way to go. If the dog has a chance at life, we should give him that chance, you know, and that means giving him all available resources like the best medical help, you know, the best time and effort that we can afford for him to get well. Now, as you can see here, now Winter is this big, round, fat ball of fur.
Winter's story doesn't end with his clean bill of health. Other than being a survivor, he is also a volunteer now. He is a pet-assisted therapy dog tasked with bringing his love for life to the less privileged. Today, he is doing his rounds at the Kwong Wai Shu Hospital, an old folks day care center, with his fellow dog volunteer, Nanny. It's time to turn on their natural charms.
Now, the benefits of pet-assisted therapy program has been scientifically proven that, for example, it reduces stress. Simply by just stroking an animal, you can actually cause a person to relax and de-stress. So it basically lowers the heart rate, which in essence, you know, makes a person healthier. Okay. From my experience, it also helps to bridge the emotional void. Sometimes old folks, you know, when they go into depression and all, they withdraw from people. Now, these animals actually, when they come into close contact, they sort of bridge the emotional gap, so that they open up more freely and they are able to talk about their feelings and about their experiences and all.
There is a beautiful twist to this pet-assisted therapy program. Nanny and Winter had been dogs despised and discarded by society. But now, in the forgiving way perhaps only dogs are capable of, they are contributing to society by doing what they do best, giving joy and laughter to humans.
Yes. This particular lady that's always there, and whenever we come, Winter will always go up to her, you know, and I think they have this special bond, you know. Every time she sees him, she'll start to cry. You know, I don't think it was really tears of sadness, but maybe of happiness, because she always starts stroking him and saying, "Oh, he's so quiet, he's so good, you know, he's so obedient and all that." Mango, cứu mẹ, cứu Winter, cứu Winter, huh?
As Winter stays in the pink of health, he continues to inspire people with his near legendary will to survive. And if you ask him, he'll probably tell you that he's going to hang around for a very long time yet.